to see how quickly I can churn this one out, because at the time of recording this it is 10 past 10 in the morning and it's 28 degrees. So yeah, I'm glad I fixed the aircon in the car, and it's going to hit about 38 degrees later on today. So what's a story that I can churn out pretty quickly and put up just like the blue slides of those slow motion cars and then just put information up over the top? Well, Liegate. That's the story for today. For those that are uninitiated, Liegate was a scandal during the late 2000s and the second scandal in 3 years involving McLaren, after the infamous Spygate affair where 800 pages of Ferrari blueprints were taken into the local Kinkos and copied. It just so happened that the man who ran the shop was a raging Ferrari fanboy. Oops. But after Hamilton narrowly beat Massa to the title in 2008, it was time for the title defence, and McLaren's 2009 car wasn't quite up to snuff compared to those around them. Now this is 2009, so the brawn was the class of the field, and Red Bull had also moved up the order. Kubica in his BMW Sauber had also shown some good pace, and it looked set for an interesting season, given that there was already the mass hysteria surrounding Brawn, Williams and Toyota's double diffusers, which I've covered in another video. Button and Barrichello would finish 1-2 after the race ended behind the safety car, and Barrichello was involved in a Turn 1 accident that somehow didn't damage the car. Either way, Brawn had achieved a fairy tale start to the season, given that the team didn't even exist a couple of months prior to the Australian Grand Prix because Honda had abruptly withdrawn. Now the reason for this safety car was because on lap 56, Vettel and Kubica had made contact at turn 3 that damaged the cars enough for both of them to understeer off and take them out of the race, during which confusion ensued. Under the safety car conditions, Trulli slid off at the second to last corner and Hamilton passed him to take third. A few corners later, Hamilton lifted off to allow Trulli to gain the third place back, and Trulli was trying to slow down himself to let Hamilton back through. And after the race, Trulli was penalised 25 seconds for an illegal overtake under the safety car. Which doesn't make any sense. Trulli explained to the stewards after the race that Hamilton had slowed down to let him pass, with Trulli thinking Hamilton had a problem, so he just blew on by. Hamilton also said in interviews that he had received a clear instruction from the team via Charlie Whiting to let Trulli back through. But then it starts to get a little bit funky after that. When Hamilton and his team manager David Ryan was summoned to the stewards, Ryan claimed that no instruction had been sent to Lewis to let Trulli back through. Toyota tried to appeal the penalty, but the FIA wouldn't allow an appeal because it was a time penalty issued in the final 5 laps of the race, which are non-appealable. But going into the race at Malaysia, the case was reopened. The FIA had got wind of some of the interviews Lewis had given post-race in Australia, where he had said that he'd been told to let Trulli go back into third. The FIA started thinking, hang on a minute, that's not what he told us before. This needs another look. So they pulled up the team radios from the incident and started to put together what actually happened. Although why they didn't do this before, I don't know. So here's how it played out. Trulli went off the road at the second to last corner and Hamilton says, "The Toyota went off at the second to last corner. I overtook him. Is that okay?" "Understood, Lewis. We will confirm and get back to you. He was off the track. He went wide." Just clarifying. Meanwhile, on Trulli's radio, "Jarno, when did Hamilton overtake you?" "When I went out, I was rejoining the party and he overtook me." Basically, when I went off the track and was rejoining the track, it's, translating it from Italian into English. So was it before the safety car or after the safety car? I don't know, it's difficult to say. Was it in the start area of the yellow flag? There were yellow flags, yes. Okay, Hamilton overtook a yellow flag. Stay where you are, we are on the case with Hamilton. Lewis, you need to allow the Toyota through. Okay. Lewis then lets Jarno through into turn 4 and they both slow down for the flatbed recovering Kubica's car, after which Jarno slows down further. He slowed down right in front of me. Okay Lewis, stay ahead, we will get back to you, we are talking to Charlie. I let him past already. Okay Lewis, that's fine, hold position. Ask Charlie because I already overtook him, I just let him pass, so... Understood, let's do this by the book. We're asking Charlie now, you're in P4 if you hold this position, just keep it together. Jarno, did Hamilton let you past or what happened because you are in front of him now? He slowed down a lot, and I thought he gave me the position, so I overtook him and I slowed down again just to let him by again, and he didn't, so I don't know exactly what happened. The engineer on the other end of the line basically does a readback of what Jarno just said so it can be submitted to the stewards afterwards, like, this is what happened. And with this new information, Lewis was excluded from the standings entirely and Jarno promoted back into third place. So the TLDR of what happened in those stewards meetings is that Dave Ryan and Lewis were summoned to the stewards to explain their side, and Ryan lied out of his backside saying that there were no specific orders given to Hamilton to let Trulli back through. Now Hamilton, put on the spot by Dave Ryan, had a choice to make. Call his team manager a liar in front of the FIA, or go along with it. And like an idiot, he went along with it. And between the meetings in Australia and Malaysia, McLaren continued to deny these radio transmissions even after they were played, and Lewis too maintained ignorance, later found to be under the instruction of McLaren. But whether or not Lewis was instructed to lie to the FIA before they went into that initial stewards meeting is unknown. At least, I can't find clarification of that thing. But then in a press release from the FIA put out on the 7th of April 2009 said, Vodafone McLaren Mercedes has been invited to appear before an extraordinary meeting of the FIA World Motorsport Council in Paris on Wednesday the 29th of April 2009 to answer charges that, in breach of Article 151C of the International Sporting Code, it, on the 29th of March 2009, told the stewards of the Australian Grand Prix that no instructions were given to Hamilton in car number 1 to allow Trulli in car number 9 to pass when both cars were behind the safety car, knowing this statement to be untrue. The second charge procured its driver Hamilton, the current world champion, to support and confirm this untrue statement to the stewards. Charge number 3, although knowing that as a direct result of this untrue statement to the stewards, another driver and a rival team had been unfairly penalised, made no attempt to rectify the situation either by contacting the FIA or otherwise. Charge number 4, on the 2nd of April 2009, at a second hearing before the stewards of the Australian Grand Prix meeting in Malaysia, made no attempt to correct the untrue statement of the 29th of March, but on the contrary, continued to maintain that the statement was true, despite being allowed to listen to a recording of the team instructing Hamilton to let Trulli pass, and despite being given more than one opportunity to correct the full statement. And charge number 5, on the 2nd of April 2009, at the second stewards hearing, procured its driver Hamilton to continue to assert the truth of the false statement given to the stewards on the 29th of March, while knowing that what he was saying to the stewards was not true. Hamilton then went into the press conference room at the Malaysian Grand Prix of his own volition to apologise for what he'd done, and his image as a world champion was tarnished. Dave Ryan was initially suspended by McLaren pending an internal investigation and soon after was fired by the team. Ron Dennis was also banned from entering the paddock and McLaren was given a suspended race ban. McLaren had pleaded guilty to all 5 charges and Martin Whitmarsh instigated a huge change in culture at the team, which under the Ron Dennis regime was deny until proven otherwise. The FIA also noted that Hamilton was put in an impossible position by Ryan, and the FIA decided that, due to the evidence produced, that this was one man at a team rather than the team as a whole, hence the suspended race bans. So then a look at the Liegate scandal of 2009. You know what to do, like and subscribe. I'm going to go off and get an ice cream because it's too damn hot. This is what happens when temperatures reach 38 degrees and your house is designed to keep heat in and not out. Thanks to the patrons on your screen, link to that is in the description, and there's also links to Discord and socials down there too. So, in the words of Empty Box, alright, bye.